Coast. We interview the best anglers to find out what they did, where they went, and what they used. Fishing reports, cool products and accessories, upcoming kayak tournaments, kayak safety, rigging tips and tricks, sponsor highlights, club member specials, and more, all on Off the Water, live and podcast. And now, here's your host of Off the Water, Mr. Sean Rastanis.
Hey guys, welcome back. Special Christmas edition Off the Water. I know it's been a little while. It's been busy. We've had a lot going on, both at work and obviously with the holidays and tournaments and the Bayou Coast Championship and Fallen Tide. It's been wild these last few months. Joining me tonight, Bayou Coast President, his first term, Mr. Jonathan Carter. John, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Just hanging out up here in the hills.
And the hills would exactly where exactly are the hills for our viewers who don't know about the hills?
The hills in West Feliciana Parish, Louisiana, St. Francisville.
St. Francisville. Okay, I heard you've had a good hunt up there recently.
Yep. I was lucky enough to take a couple deer before it got too cold. Got those from the processor today and looking to hang out, hunt a little bit slower, and hopefully get the big butt before the New Year. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome. I keep seeing all these pictures that Benjamin Day keeps sending me a deer in his backyard, and he swears he's out there hunting them. I think he's out there feeding them every day, and he doesn't have the heart to shoot them. He shot enough things in his life that deer's probably low on the list at this point, you know.
My wife, my mother-in-law ragged on me all of last year for doing the same thing.
Yeah. So you had a prover that you could actually hit one.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, you got I know lots of deer sausage. I heard you really racked up on the deer burritos this year.
Oh yeah. The car was loaded.
That's wonderful. Well, for everybody new to this format, this format allows our viewers to call in. We will get to you right now. We've got Dean Turner on hold. We've got Josh Lewis going to be joining us soon, the sponsor coordinator for Bayou Coast. We'll bring him live shortly. And we've got all kinds of things to talk about tonight. It's the end of the year. We just had a fantastic Fallen Tide tournament Bayou Coast did in October, followed up by a just phenomenal championship event down there in Bayou Log Cabins, Lake Hermitage area in November. The end of the year has been a little bit slower in December. This weather's been unusually warm, so we've got some good reports coming out. And if anybody wants to share some reports, I've seen some good pictures. Jack Hickman's been out catching some really nice trout. Me, Jonathan, and Breck had the opportunity to go out this past weekend, do a little pre-fishing for Minimalist Challenge, and had a really good time.
Don't be giving away all the secrets now.
No, not all the secrets, not all the secrets. And we'll talk about some different things, and obviously welcome the call in. So let's do this. Mr. Dean Turner has been sitting here on hold for a little while. We'll bring him in real quick, chat with him, and see what's going on with Mr. Turner. Let's get you going here. Hello, Dean. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. I see you're out. See if we can get you there. It's a little bit better shot. I see you're all tucked away now, and you moved to Baton Rouge recently, huh?
Yeah, just big city of Baton Rouge. I hate it.
I hate it. I'm right there with you, Dean.
I've heard you're the third person to tell me that today. Between you and John and Benjamin Day driving in, apparently Baton Rouge is falling by the wayside these days.
I just hate the traffic.
So what's going on with the Turner household these days? I know Christmas is coming up. You got anything special requests for Christmas presents under the tree?
Just fishing stuff. Got to get better. Got to start catching fish.
Yeah, that would help.
Torpedo, maybe.
A torpedo.
Oh. Yeah, that's on the wish list.
So you had a chance to fish to fish the Fallen Tide tournament there in October. You know, I know it's been a month or two, but it's a good one to recap. I don't think we've really recapped it since then. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what was your favorite part.
Hanging out with everyone was really cool. I did terrible for the tournament, so I didn't get to fish, but or win a door prize or any kind of prize because Jonathan and everyone else decided to buy all kinds of tickets. And
Eric Stacy, yeah,
Francis
Tran. But no, I had a great time. It was a great experience meeting people and everything. So,
how did you enjoy the floating disco?
The floating disco is really, really fun. Hopefully, it comes back.
And for those viewers who don't know or weren't there or didn't get the opportunity to join us, the floating disco is a I don't know, what was it? How big was it? 70, 80 foot luxury yacht yeah, it's a big boat that they rent down there at Delta Marina. We had the opportunity to rent it out, and some good people up there cooked us our first night there. We had filet mignons and a shrimp spaghetti that was really good. We had a big bar on the boat. It was a phenomenal experience. I think that may have been my favorite part of Fallen Tide was that Saturday night when we all got together. I think we had about 30, 40 people on the floating disco celebrating into the night. But you know, it was a good tournament. The fishing was tough. The trout fishing was really tough. You know, the redfish were there, obviously. The flounder were there. You know, plenty of flounder caught. We had a first this year. We had a female angler take first place, win the kayak, and qualify for the Hobie Worlds. So, you know, we're hoping to have that back here again, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm really hoping Hobie gets another opportunity to sponsor a qualifier. We had I think people coming from 10 different states come down to fish the tournament. Everybody that I talked to or that I heard from stated what a great time they had. How and I wanted to thank the Bayou Coast members for this, but we're really, really personable and really helped everybody out, and we're real friendly. And I think everybody walked away with a positive experience from that tournament. And I guarantee you, I know for a fact, word got back to Hobie about what a great experience it was for a lot of these people. And so it's just a great opportunity for Bayou Coast to kind of showcase the club, showcase its members and everything like that. And if you haven't seen it yet, Bayou Wild TV has taken some clips of the tournament. They've got some video footage of what me and Jonathan and Francis went fishing. There's an angler highlight interview with Steve Lassard out there. And this is just little teasers. There's going to be a full-length show coming out sometime next year, which I'm really looking forward to, and everything. Jonathan, I know you fished it. You placed in the top 10, but I think you were, you did place in the top 10, right? I forget.
Yeah, I think I ended up in 5th or 6th place, maybe. It was, I think everybody knew going into the tournament it was going to be pretty tough with the weather. It was blowing out of the north. Leading up to that, the weather was really nice. It really hadn't gotten cool enough for a lot of the big trout to move in. So I think a lot of people picked up on that pre-fishing wise. That was a big part of the reason why I elected to fish Lake Hermitage for Fallen Tide. That was also where our championship for Bayou Coast had to be moved to due to Hurricane Ida. So I kind of focused in on that area, knowing I could get, a solid redfish, probably get a decent flounder, and, maybe pick up a trout or two, and then maybe have to move and upgrade on a bigger trout later. And that's the fishing was great. The trout were hard to come by for sure. And I made a couple errors. Should have moved a little bit further south from there to try to upgrade the trout later in the day, and didn't do it. But it was a great time on the water. It was fun. Fallen Tide was a fantastic event. There was tons of people around. Everybody came, hung out at the captain's meeting. Next day after for the award ceremony, it was awesome seeing Pam with the win, and everybody was there. It was great. I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time with COVID, with the hurricane and everything. I think that was a really good time for everybody to come together and kind of hang out and fish. And, it would have been nicer if the weather would have cooperated, but it wouldn't be a Bayou Coast tournament without a little bit of wind,
No.
a little bit of rain.
Yeah, you always need a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind to do that. Someone's asking, so I've got the comments on here. Hey guys, if you can go through, it's got Facebook user. If you hit something on there, it says allow StreamYard to use your identity, so I know who's talking. So I've got Dwayne Wally. I see. Hey Dwayne, what's up? Josh Thompson. Hey Josh. And I got some other people on here. I don't know who's talking. Just says Facebook user. Austin, Jack. I just try to send a link that for people who want to get on, and we'll see about posting that link somewhere else on here so you can get on. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to work on that right now. Jonathan, you won Angler of the Year this year for Bayou Coast. You know, it took you a couple years. It was kind of an interesting story because although you didn't win a tournament, you just nailed it every single tournament. I mean, you were in that top 5, that top 10 for sure, every single tournament. And really it's a cumulative thing, you know, it's like I say, you're extremely consistent. So Jonathan came out first, Breck Hotard came out second. It was a really tight battle. Breck actually won 2 or 3 tournaments this year, but just, you know, he's, you know, going for it all every tournament. So, it was just a really competitive series this year. A lot of guys coming in, really good, competition between some guys. It's good to see some new guys up there too. You know, you've got a lot of the regular guys with winning, but we've got this whole new crew of people coming in that are really great fishermen. Jonathan and Breck, and then you've got Wade Barbet, and you've got all these other guys coming in that are really putting in some competition here for the club. Jonathan, why don't you real quick talk about your year and Angler of the Year, and I'm gonna try to get this link here posted while you tell us a little about what happened to you this year.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, I mean, Breck had a killer year. He won, yeah, like you said, 2 of the tournaments. I know almost, I think he won Minimalist and one of the other tournaments during the year. And thankfully, I finished, I think, second on one of those and third or fourth on the other. So I stayed close to him for those tournaments and then, you know, edged him out in a couple others. But I was thankful I got to fish all the tournaments this year to make it out because when it came down to the championship, I honestly did not do very well at the championship. I thought I was going to do a lot better than I did, which was unfortunate, but I had stayed consistent leading up to that. So that put me in a good spot. And, you know, I relayed this message to everybody at the championship, and I know not everybody, you know, in the club gets to qualify for the championship, but I think that's a goal everybody should strive for. The championship is a really special event where, you know, you get 40 to 50 people in the club that fish pretty much essentially all the events to qualify for the championship. And it's great being able to just spend, you know, a couple days, especially because the pre-fishing's cut down. You only get to pre-fish one day. It really showcases, you know, who a lot of the best fishermen are. Maybe that's why I haven't done so well in some of the championships because I don't get to pre-fish as much. But, you know, I think a couple of the biggest things that I learned this year fishing, one is fishing out of a kayak. You have to have some systems that help you to be as efficient on the water as you can. Obviously, pre-fishing helps, gets you kind of in the ballpark. Having a group of friends that you can rely on to talk with to see what's going on, you know, in the fishery wherever we fish at, because typically for our tournaments, you know, we have a pretty wide range of area you can choose from to fish, and typically you'll see, you know, specific areas fish better than others different times of the year. So it helps to either pre-fish to figure that out, or if you have some friends that know what they're doing fishing wise, they can provide some advice too. And I definitely have a couple of those with Sean Francis and a couple other in the clubs too, a couple other people in the club to help point me in the right direction. That helps out a lot. And the biggest thing, honestly, is, you know, just trying to relax when you're on the water. I know it can be, you know, you get excited, you get pumped up for the tournament, you know, and that's why we do it, getting that heart beating going. First thing in the morning, fishing on the tournaments, trying to do good, trying to qualify right off the bat, or if you're doing good, to try to do good in every tournament for a chance at AOY. But realistically, you know, I think most people fish best when they just sit back and, you know, relax, have a good time while you're out there, and let the fish kind of do the talking for you, figure out what they want that day. Don't try to force feed them. Be open-minded and be flexible in what you want to do for the day.
That's definitely Travis Hull's strategy. He will sit there and let the fish come to him, even if it's 4 hours in the same spot, anchored down, and it works. I don't have that patience. So congrats to Travis. I think he did pretty good. I think he placed at Minimalist. I mean at Fall and Tide this year. Well, look, Dean. Real quick before we move on to our next guest, we got a lot of great tournaments coming up near here. Bayou Coast, Swamp Country, Hobie, Bass. Looking at the schedules now that they've come out, is there one more than any others that you're really looking forward to?
Well, Minimalist is my favorite, so
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one, and then the Toledo Bend Hobie tournament for the
That's
bass.
gonna be a lot of fun.
That one I haven't fished Toledo Bend yet, so and it's Louisiana, so I can't wait.
Right, and then that Swamp Country Championship down in Caney Creek. I know got to get your blood going a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try doing more bass this year.
Absolutely. Well, look, we got a line of people ready to come on here. So let me move on to our next guest. Dean, thanks for coming on tonight. Hope you watch the rest of the show.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Dean.
Later, Dean.
All right, Josh Lewis, we're gonna come up to you in a little bit. Let's see, we got Austin sitting here. Let's go to Austin and see what he's got up. Hey, Austin, what's up?
What's going on, y'all?
How you doing, man?
Good. Tired, actually. But
yeah. So for those that don't know, Austin is our co-sponsor coordinator this year for Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing. He is working with Josh Lewis to help us bring in. And I'll tell you, the enthusiasm for these new officers coming in, it reminds me probably of my first year 5 years ago. They are communicating daily. A lot. Let me just say a lot. So they've got some great things coming up.
Sometimes a little bit more than necessary, but
yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Y'all are doing a great job. I mean, there's a lot of excitement. We're going to see a lot of different things this year with Bayou Coast. Going to try to get back to the members and doing more things for the members, and we'll have Jonathan talk a little bit more about that, and Josh telling us about it. So Austin, this is your first year as a board member in Bayou Coast. Anything that you weren't expecting, expectations coming in, anything that you were surprised about? What are your thoughts so far?
Actually, quite a few. Number one, couldn't fathom the amount of work that goes into these events. So for the past officers, y'all have nothing but respect from me. It's a lot more going into it than I expected it to be, which I mean, I'm always up to a challenge. But another thing is just the brotherhood of the board. Like, there might be a couple of bickers here and there, but everyone has the club's best interest at heart, and that was really good to see.
And you bring up a good point. We argue a lot and things, but it's funny. It's at the end of the day, it's everybody just wants what they think is best for the club.
Exactly.
And there's no personal, I want this, I want that. It's what they think is best for the club. And the opinions differ, that's okay. It's funny, if only our congressman could run the country like, Bayou Coast, we'd be all right,
Oh, don't get me started
on that to myself.
Yeah. Hey, look, and I want to take this time right now. I want to thank Austin. He didn't qualify for the championship this year, but let me tell you, Saturday, he came down from Baton Rouge all the way down to Hermitage. He stopped at my house because I forgot the boudin. He stopped and picked up the championship trailer from Tyler, and he came down there, brought everything to us, and had everything set up. And that really meant a lot, even though you weren't an official officer yet. You were coming in, you were helping out anyway, and that went a long way in my book. And I know we all really appreciate you going out of your way and doing that and spending your Saturday down there. I know that you don't probably remember the ride home, but I'm glad you got home safely that night, and we enjoyed hanging out with you Saturday night.
Sleeping on the couch because of that.
Jonathan is all about sleeping on the couch.
Oh,
man.
All right. I see Benjamin Day back there. Let's Austin, why don't you hang around for a little bit? We'll see about bringing you back on. We're gonna go over to Benjamin Day real quick and see what he's got to say. And then after Ben, we're gonna move over to Josh, and we're gonna talk about some new sponsors we got coming on, some great things going on with Bayou Coast. So hang on, Austin. Benjamin Day,
Yo, what's up?
back from the City of Lights.
Natchitoches. Yeah, that
Natchitoches.
was an intense trip.
I bet it was. I mean, what with all the walking around and looking at the Christmas lights, you had to be worn out.
It was a lot packed into 2 nights. I mean,
Yeah.
we were going constantly. And the
bet.
drive back was absolutely brutal. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like a funnel. I mean,
Yeah.
I RV from Texas to Florida, and there's nowhere that there's that big of a funnel. I mean, they funneling the whole state through Baton Rouge. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, look, you got to go to Fallen Tide, and you had your RV down there, and then you also made it down to the championship. You qualified this year. I think you were the wild card, right?
Yeah, I was.
You were the first wild card, and
Thankfully.
yeah. Tell us, what did you think? Did you have a good time at the tournament?
Yeah, the wild card was awesome. I just stuck with it, the whole year and tried to, make every tournament and just not skunk. And at the end of the year, it provided to be a good strategy.
Absolutely.
But I heard y'all talking about Canny earlier in the podcast, and when I was at Natchitoches, I was only an hour away. It hurt me. I was like, because that place gives me hope. Because I'm really bad at bass fishing, and I caught my personal best there twice over. So I'm like, if I can do that, then anybody can do that.
Anybody can do it.
I really like that area. I can't wait to fish there again. So
it's gonna be, in your words, epic.
Epic.
Completely epic. Well, how was your Fallen Tide in championship experience?
Oh, Fallen Tide was absolutely awesome. It was so fun. So I brought my camper down. I did all the honeydews that I could do. So I got to bring it down, and I got Joe staying with me, and I had Austin staying with me, and we stayed at J Bars. And I never met the guy before, but I mean, he bent over backwards. He was super cool. I wrote him a check. He chatted with us for half an hour. And that was it. I mean, he parked me across 3 camper spots because he had so much room. So, I mean, I had tons of room. It was only like a 10-minute drive to Delta. The food was awesome. I mean, it's crazy. They're probably the best restaurant in like 45 minutes in either direction.
Oh, over there at Delta?
Yeah. I mean, it was legit food. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find food that good in the city. I mean, that's what's like mind-boggling. I mean, the menu pretty much had, something for everybody. And, that's the first time I ever have been there. And they had tons of room. Like, mean, for all the tents and everything and the trailers, it was like a perfect little setup, I thought. So I had a blast. The fishing was absolutely horrid, but I got lucky and I just found school trout. And I just caught as many as I could so I can bring them home to Tucker.
Yeah. And I tell you, speaking of that, over there at Delta Marina, when Ida hit, we had to move the tournament from Bridgeside over to Delta. And this was all done within a matter of like 30 days, getting everything organized and arranged. And I really wanted to thank Mitch Jurisic. He's the owner of a Delta. I think it's Pam. Is it Pam over there too? I think it's Pam. Everybody over there, they brought us in, welcomed us with open arms, and did everything they could to make this a fantastic tournament. Grand Isle's not ready yet, so unfortunately, we had to move Paddlepalooza to Highway 23, and we're hoping to put Fallen Tide down at Grand Isle in the fall, and then obviously put everything back to normal once everything gets back straight. But Mitch has already been working. Matter of fact, I spoke with him today. He is going to work with the parish to try to get the parish to help us with tables and chairs and tents to where the club does not have to pay for that, which has saved the club a lot of money. You're talking $2,000 or $3,000 for stuff like that the club will save. And they've just welcomed us with open arms. It's a great relationship. So they are really looking forward to having us back there in March. I know we're all looking forward to going back down. I hope everybody turns out for that event. It's obviously it's a little bit different time of the year. It's a little bit earlier than normal, but because of Highway 23 is compared to Highway 1, you want to do a little bit early to make sure you still get the opportunity to catch some bigger trout, redfish, and flounder. And this is the same reason why Minimalist had to be moved because of Leeville being destroyed. Obviously, we're hoping everything gets back to normal next year. This has been a wild 2 years between COVID and Ida. So I know the officers have been working real hard to try to make sure things still go on, even though we've been really limited with everything. So Ben, you got to experience the floating disco. I think Jack Hickman actually came up with that name. I'm not sure, but I think it was Jack. What were your thoughts on the floating disco?
It was pretty cool. I'll be honest. I'd never been on a yacht before, and when I got on it, or I saw something that said Folsom, Louisiana, and I was like, immediately I was like, oh man, this is so cool. I just moved to Folsom, so I wanted to know the story of it, and I learned the whole history. It was like a 2008, I think it was, and the guy said that they paid like $4.5 million for it or something ridiculous. And it has like 7 ACs. So the whole like science of how this thing works just completely was super interesting to me. So I thought that was really cool. And you walk on it, and it had a kitchen downstairs and a bunch of cabins, and you walk upstairs in this huge, on the second floor, this huge bar. And I heard all the furniture was like from England or Europe or something. I mean, it was insane. It was like literally once in a lifetime thing, at least for lowly military Ben.
living on 10 acres out in the country with deers and goats and wild boars and stuff.
Yeah, we got bobcats in the back. They do the thing, but I don't know nothing about no furniture from England.
It would have been a great boat to go snapper fishing in.
That would have been just insane. Can you imagine how many people you could have fit on the back snapper fishing?
Yeah. Okay, Ben. Well, look, we're going to move on to Josh Lewis. He's been on here for a while. I'll tell you what. Hang on. Let's get Josh on here. Ben, I'm going to take you off for a second because I've got to post some pictures of some things. Josh, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, man, thanks for joining us tonight. For you guys that don't know, this is Josh Lewis. He is the sponsor coordinator for Bayou Coast. And let me tell you, we met Josh last year at a fishing tournament over in Texas, and he came hang with us. And then he actually teamed up with Brock Miller over at Louisiana Custom Kayaks to get together a raffle for hurricane relief, I think it was, for Point of Shin. And for another company, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, Calypso down in
Calypso, right.
Yeah.
And so I'll be honest, we saw what an amazing job Josh did getting sponsors to put up stuff for that raffle so quickly. I told Jonathan, I said, look, we got to get this guy. We got to go poach him and get him on here and get him on the thing. And he has done an amazing job so far. He's brought in new sponsors, confirmed it with old sponsors. And, I'm really excited about what the raffles are going to look like this year with Josh. Really, I mean, you've been just on a tear lately. So why don't we do this? Why don't you tell us a little bit about this, the sponsors we brought on that you brought on for Bayou Coast, some of the things that they're donating for the raffles, and we've got this new deal for the rookie of the year. I think we can talk about, and we'll let Jonathan talk about that, and Josh, we'll let you talk about a little bit about what some of these new sponsors we got and some of the other sponsors we got that are coming up.
Okay, yeah. I think right about now we're around 25 sponsors. Good bit of those are, most of those are returning old sponsors, but we have brought in some new ones already. I got in touch with a company, Danco Pliers. They make some pretty nice pliers. They donated 20 pairs of pliers, some fillet knives, and some towels. We got Finn's Braid on board. They're donating some fishing line, rattle trap. They're donating a crap load of rattle traps and some more of their other baits. Twitch Fish, I'm excited about them because I love using their clips. And they just came out with those new snips. They're sending us some of those. We have a bunch of companies that are kind of wait till the beginning of the year. They want to work out some details then. But we got some good ones coming on board. I'm really excited about.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about so Rattle Trap. That's a big one. Tell us a little bit more about what Rattle Trap has agreed to share.
Well, they've agreed to donate $500 worth of product to us that we get to pick out, and then they're going to send us another $500 worth of product that they choose, whether that's apparel, more rattle traps, whatever that may be at their discretion. But I know Brock knows a little bit about catching them bull reds with them rattle traps, so he can attest to how good they are. And then hearing a little bit too about people using them under popping corks, that might be something some people can try.
Absolutely, absolutely. And those rattle traps are really good baits to use. I know you use them both for bass and for trout. I know Jonathan, I think you took second place on a blue and silver rattle trap over at the Swamp Country Championship this past year, if I recall.
Yeah. I may or may not have gotten a tip about, a rattle trap the night before. I told people where I was going to be fishing. They said, it may not be a bad idea to tie on a rattle trap. And on my way to the spot, I had a lot of shad blow up and get in my kayak that looked just like the little rattle trap I was throwing. And it just so happened Mr. Brock showed up in the same little area we were fishing. And I gave him one of the same little rattle traps that I had. And I think it was within 5 minutes later, I think he caught one of the bigger bass of the tournament that day. I absolutely love rattle traps.
100%.
Yeah, they are really good. So I'm having some issues getting this picture to load on here, but we've got some things that we can certainly see here. Some items that are coming up. We've got these. You brought on Danco as a new sponsor. Is that right?
Yep. Danco pliers.
Okay, and so they've got some great pliers that they're donating. A bunch of nice pliers there. They've also got some, I think, some fillet knives that they're also going to be donating as well.
Yeah. They sent us 5 of their 7-inch fillet knives.
Very good.
I didn't take them out the box, but they look top quality.
Yeah, they do. They look real sharp. And how many pairs of pliers have we got here? I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh,
it's 20 pair they sent us.
20 pairs. Those are quality pliers. Looks like I don't know if they're all aluminum or not, but really nice looking. Of course.
No,
go ahead.
Top quality pliers for sure. When I was taking them out to take those pictures, I was very impressed with them. They're not some little cheap pliers you buy at Walmart. They're like $50 pliers.
Right. And then, of course, in addition, we've got Dakota Lithium back on board.
Yep. Dakota's back on board. They sent us 2 of their 54 amp hour batteries. They are second hand batteries, those, but they're just as good as new. They're also sending us 5 of their power boxes. Of course, with all the trouble everybody's having with getting product in stock and shipping, we hadn't got those yet, but we'll have those before our raffles.
That's awesome. And then, of course, we've got the Bending Branches anchor. We got the Bending Branches anchor. Jonathan, tell us a little bit about the Bending Branches anchor, how that's going to be used this year. We've kind of got a neat little deal going for Bayou Coast members.
Yeah, so getting with the board, this year we talked before, kind of officially taking over for the new upcoming year. We wanted to put a lot of explicit goals together, and a few of the goals that we put together was primarily around giving back as much as we could to the membership. Obviously, with the hurricane last year and with COVID the past couple of years, it's been really tough to try to get people together in groups, hang out. And that's something that Bayou Coast, has always been about, and we will always continue to do that. And that's something that we want to push for more and more. So a couple of the things is one part of giving back to the club is getting new angler of the year. So rookie of the year is going to win a paddle. So we're trying to drive as much new membership as we can. We put on a lot of work, like Sean and Austin had said. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background that a lot of people don't see to make things work, to grind the gears behind, to get all the products, to get the tournament set up, all that. But we do it for the club. We do it for our friends and our Bayou Coast family. We want to put that back in the club as much as we can. So basically, the first new year angler who places the best across the tournaments is going to win a brand new Bending Branches paddle. So that's just one of many other things we have set up for this year. Some other things that we're going to be doing this year is non-tournament affiliated get-togethers. Basically just hangouts. We all love to fish. We all love to tournament fish for the most part, but there's few things that are better than just getting together and talking about fishing, whether or not you're actually fishing or not. So we're definitely going to set up some of those. And then also one of the things we wanted to do too is get back and meeting with our sponsors in person. We have a lot of really great sponsors with the club that we want to go meet, hang out in their spaces and bring y'all there so that, we can all hang out, talk about fishing and have a good time. So look for that more so as we get, prepared. I know everybody's busy with Christmas, New Year's and all that, but we've already hit the ground running and y'all will see a lot more coming out early next year with those other things too.
Yeah. And the rookie of the year right now, it's for new members coming in this year. But we're going to take a closer look at that. This is a question that someone had asked on here. We're going to take a look at that a little bit closer when we get the final numbers from Minimalist. We may include some people that came in last year, just depending on the numbers. We don't want it to be a 2 or 3 person competition, but it may just be this year. It may be this year and last year. So just hang tight. I'm sure we're going to make an announcement on that and kind of go from there. But we've got some really good things coming up. So Josh, I know this is your first year in as an officer. You've seen the tournament lineups. Are you looking forward to one more than any other ones?
Not really. This will be. I plan on making every tournament this year. I'm gonna try to do my best at them. I'm looking forward to all of them. I really like the concept of Minimalist. I've never fished Minimalist yet. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm gonna give a little tip away.
Absolutely.
For everybody. One of the sponsors here we're going to have that are donating for something for Minimalist is Death Grip. I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with Death Grip.
You can't say what the baits are. Now, all fairness, he didn't say what's being donated. All we know is that Death Grip actually is Captain Lane, who makes many different products. In addition to Death Grip jig heads, we'll be donating some product for Minimalist this year. What those products are, we cannot say.
Lord knows.
Lord knows. Lord only knows. But he does make a quality hook. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the hook that you've got there you were showing us?
Yeah, well,
everybody's familiar with these hooks. They're great.
If they're not, you need to be, because this is literally, when you're fishing soft plastics, this is the hook to use. I mean, I have so much better luck with my soft plastics not coming off of your hook and sliding down with these. They really hold on. And Lord forbid you leave a Berkeley gulp on there. It's on there. You just throw the hook away.
You just have to throw the hook away. That's right. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate all you do for the club and everything that you're bringing to it. We look forward to having you coming on, especially when we get around Paddlepalooza and talking about all the great sponsors we've got coming on and some of the great raffle prizes we're going to have. Those raffles are what helps really fund the club and pay for those tournaments. And we can't do it without those sponsors. So thanks again for coming on. I know we've got Action Jack's been sitting in the shadows for a little while. We're going to bring him on and maybe get a fishing report or two, I'm hoping. Let's see what kind of information he's willing to share with us. Mr. Action Jack, how are you doing, sir? Oh, you're on mute. Oh, wait, hang on. There you go. That's better.
Hey, how are y'all? Good to see you.
Good. I saw you were eating nut-crusted something tonight.
Trout. Caught me some trout.
Yes.
Imagine that. I caught a trout.
You had some really nice trout this weekend.
I did, man. It was great. It was.
Were there numbers or just size or both?
I caught Saturday morning. I probably caught 75 trout between sunup and 11. 50 of them were 11 inches. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of small trout I had to work through, but it was like every cast. So, you know, entertainment value. I just sat there and fished.
That is very different from on my Saturday morning, but go ahead.
I fished Golden Meadow with a guy who wasn't fishing in a kayak. He was fishing in one of those 8-foot bathtub bass boats with a troll motor on the back. We didn't travel very far, and there was just a lot of fish in the area, so it was pretty awesome. I picked up, went to Topwater because I needed water to clean fish. They don't have any facilities. I just used their hose and clean fish on the back of my boat. And then I went and I launched at Lance's, and I only got to fish like an hour and a half at Lance's, but I caught like 10 beautiful trout. The biggest was about 18, and the weather, you know, from the front came in and ran me off. I caught a 21-inch trout, I guess, Saturday morning on a death grip jig head with a lemon head.
Was that Saturday or Sunday morning?
That was Saturday. Sunday morning, we fished down between Fouchon and Grand Isle, right off the side of the road, basically.
Yeah.
We combat launched, and I only caught 3 fish. Wade was with me. I think he caught 3 fish too. I only caught 3 fish, but the first fish I caught was 22-inch monster. So
right. I saw that picture. That was great. You were under a cork though.
No,
right?
Top water.
Top water?
That was on my $2.50 Walmart top water.
I swear, I thought I saw a cork in that picture.
No,
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Unless you zoom in, you can't tell. And the funny thing is I cast. The wind was blowing so hard, and I cast against the windward shoreline, and I'm working the bait, and the wind's blowing me up on the flat. So basically, I had to start pedaling, and I'm working the top water like over my left shoulder, and I just felt tension, and it was the fish. That's what I.
So the trout are definitely down in Golden Meadow right now. They're pretty thick.
All over, yeah, very.
Yeah.
I mean, all over. I didn't have any trouble finding fish in Leeville either.
That's nice.
I just didn't have very much time, and it was a different deal. I was, fishing for bigger fish. So
now I talked to Mitch Jurczyk today over at Delta Marina. He was telling me that they are killing the trout right now. He said he's surprised that they're still out there in the bay in December. He says, but look, you go out through those locks right there into Bay Adams. He said they're coming back with limits, and he said some really nice trout out there.
I don't doubt it because the water's so warm. The water temperature in Golden Meadow was 74 degrees. Was 74 degrees Saturday morning. Sunday morning, it was still 74 degrees, but it dropped about 6 or 8 degrees while we were there. We got out the water around 11, something like that, and the water temperature had already dropped like 6 or 8 degrees. It was wicked cold, wicked wind. It was
it was definitely really nice fishing conditions on Saturday. They were projecting rain. I know we thought we were going to get rained on at least 2 or 3 times, and never once, did we get a drop.
Sean was so worried about the rain and the weather.
The lightning, not the rain. I'm not, I'm not a pansy. I just don't like lightning.
Getting scared. It messes up his quaff and all that stuff. We got drizzled on Saturday morning, and it might have rained. It might have rained on me like 5 minutes Saturday afternoon, but I could just see the weather coming in. I thought the wind was going to lay down after like 9 o'clock Sunday morning, but it never did. Hey, y'all were talking about falling tide. That was awesome.
You had a good time?
It was just awesome. The whole thing was awesome. Delta Marina was nice. Like Ben said, the fishing sucked pretty much. I did okay, but the fishing sucked. It really did. I didn't catch any fish that to speak of. I just got lucky. But the fishing was great. The venue was great. They were very nice down there, and I'm definitely looking forward to Paddlepalooza for sure.
Absolutely. It was a really good time. I had so much fun seeing everybody.
Some big trout at Paddlepalooza.
with that river being low and these warmer temperatures.
It'll be back up by then.
Yeah.
Because the snow melt will kick in, it'll be back up. But the water should still be pretty good down there.
I don't know how much snow we're going to have this year. It's been unusually warm with the snow.
We'll
you know?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a long ways away. You can't.
Yeah. So
Minimalist.
Jack, Minimalist. You got to be excited because this isn't Leeville. This isn't Golden Meadow. This is your city. This is your area.
I kept the boat at Campos for a long time.
Yeah.
When I had several boats and I kept them all at Campos, and let's just say I fished down there a lot.
So tell us. No, this is good. This is good. January for the last 8 years, I'm fishing Leeville, getting ready for Minimalist. If I get to fish, I'm going down and I'm pre-fishing for Minimalist, and it sucks every year because the water's low and I'm in mud and it's just a pain in the butt.
Same, the exact same.
Right. Tell us what you can maybe help the viewers out there. They're getting ready to fish this area in January that maybe haven't done it. What kind of advice would you give them?
Well,
not specifics, but what can you do to help us out here, Jack?
It's a shame that the Reggio boat launch is closed, because that time of year, Reggio was always awesome. You can still access Reggio through
Sweetwater, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a long paddle, and you can access it from Hopedale Marina. But again, it's a long, and even from Pips, it's a long ways. It's at least 4 or 5 miles to get up there from either of those locations. So that has always been a really good area. Everything between Delacroix and Hopedale, like Lake Amity, that whole area, Lake Robin, that's all good in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason anybody's gonna not do well. The kind of Shell Beach can be really good or really bad. If there's a hard north wind, Shell Beach will be absolutely horrible because you can't even get in the ship channel. Ship channel will have, if it's anything, over 15 mile an hour north winds, there'll be 4 or 5 foot rollers in the ship channel, and it's just, you can't do it. And same thing all the way down the ship channel. So say if you launched at Hopedale Marina and you wanted to go fish the Lena Lagoon area, or if you're a real badass and you want to go all the way to Magnolia is really awesome in the wintertime. It's 5 miles from the marina. So that's it's a hell of a long paddle. And if it's a north wind coming down, no wind, rough ship channel, it's brutal. So that kind of limits you more to the area between Hopedale and Delacroix, which I think kind of is going to be the smart place to fish.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many different species of fish out there that you can catch this time of year. And so the Minimalist bag looks really different this year than in prior years. Obviously in Leeville, redfish, trout, and to my knowledge, I've never been there when someone's actually caught a flounder. But it theoretically it could happen. But this year you've got redfish, trout, bass, sheepshead, and flounder. And the sheepshead are out there. The bass are out there. The trout are out there. The redfish are out there. And I got reports when we were out there Saturday that I think 3 flounder were caught as well.
The flounder have been definitely on in the Lake-Borgne Basin in general. Down south down there, they're catching a lot of flounder between Hopedale and between Hopedale and Shell Beach. They're catching tons of flounder.
Yeah.
So,
what's your suggestion for someone trying to maybe target a sheepshead, because it's a different fish and it's artificial?
They lay on top of reefs, rocks, pylons. Anywhere where there's a lot of barnacles is where you're going to catch sheephead. Anywhere you can find anywhere where you can find a reef, there's no doubt sheephead around. But I see a lot of sheephead in the marsh, going down canals.
Yeah,
so
they're very visible. If you're sight fishing, I see them much easier than say redfish.
Well, I mean, that's how I caught the one on Topwater, I guess, right before Fallen Tide. I I threw the top water. I thought it was, I just saw a shadow, and I threw the top water at it, and I popped it a couple times, and a freaking sheephead comes up and hits it. I'm like, okay. Stranger things have happened, you know. Now I want to pull a Chuck Bahan and catch my big flounder on the top water. That's my goal in life from now on.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
That's a weird.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. So the bag for Minimalist is 2 redfish, 5 trout, 1 sheep's head, 2 bass, 1 flounder. What is the winning weight?
Probably between 20 and 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I see you're disagreeing already. I'm pretty sure you're in the 30s at some point. If I know Jonathan, he's in the 30s.
I mean,
I like to shoot high for sure.
I mean, let's just say you get 2 6.5 pound redfish. That's as an average. You get a big, let's say 2 7-pound redfish. That's 14 pounds. Trout, you're going to average about 1.5 pounds times 5. That's 7.5. So now you're at 21. You know, you can catch a 5-pound sheephead pretty easy, but average they're about 3 pounds. That's 24 flounder, 1.5 pounds. That's 26 pounds.
Yeah, don't forget about the 2 bass.
Plus a couple 5-pound
forgot all about that. Add 6 pounds. Yeah, close to 30 pounds. I'm right there. Forgot about the bass. I wasn't factoring them in.
There you go.
It's going to be.
You heard it here first, folks. Jack Hickman is predicting at 30 pounds is what it's going to take to win Minimalist.
And all I'm going to say is all you girly men out there with those little 24-quart ice chest bags, yeah, bring them with you. Those would be really good.
Bring your big
bag.
Yeah, bring your big bag for sure.
I
I think Dan had even suggested allowing English to clip the spine off the sheep's head before they put him in the bag.
That's extra weight.
I'm just going to tape mine down. I'm bringing a roll of duct tape, and I'm going to tape the spine down on the sheep's head. What's that?
Never mind. It's going to be a big bag. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good tournament. And just a note, if anybody's looking for some place to stay, Robbie Campo has about 5 or 6 different camps that he leases out for other people that he manages. We got one already down there somewhere, but he's got a bunch of them, and they're all like anywhere between like 4 and 10 people. So if you call Campo's Marina and talk to Robbie, he can set you up. If you want to get a group together, he can set you up with a place to stay. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good news, Jack. I appreciate that. That'll be very useful for a lot of people wanting to come down the night before. Well, it's an early morning for sure, because it is a shotgun launch, and you got to pick up your baits and everything. And just for people who don't know, we will be down there Friday night. And if you are down there Friday night, we will be handing out baits for anybody who wants to get it Friday night to re-rig or to rig the night before. And because we're not doing it at one location like in Leeville where we could hand it out. So although we will be handing out baits at Topwater, at Last Stop, we'll be down there Friday night. If you're interested in coming by, we'll let you guys know where you can stop by and pick up your bag to go ahead and rig. If not, obviously you can pick them up Saturday morning. Just gives everybody a chance.
Staying?
What's that?
Where's the board staying?
Well, right now, Jonathan may be offshore. I don't have a place to stay yet, so I guess I'll be looking into that. I haven't gotten any invites from anybody staying at the various camps I've heard, but you know.
You want to? I mean, y'all usually stay as a group, so I didn't include you because you have your own. Y'all always have a group.
No, that's not true. It's usually me, Jonathan, and Francis, but you know. Of course, there's no yachts for rent down in St. Bernard, so you know we have to. I was looking for a very nicely decorated shrimp boat, but
there won't be any dancing girls or floating disco balls.
There are no floating discos in St. Bernard. So
actually,
Jack,
there are a couple of houseboats. What's the guy? There's a charter captain down there that's got a big houseboat right by Pips.
Oh, nice.
Big ass houseboat. Used to be Big Fish. What's his name? He's got the TV shows on Channel 8.
Oh, I think I know you're talking about.
He's got a big houseboat down there. I mean, it sleeps like 20 or 30 from what I understand. and it's right down by Pips. So, I mean, if you want to do that, it can be done.
That might be the spot.
That might be the spot. I'm gonna take a quick run to fix another drink. While I am away, Jonathan, Tyler Caldwell is asking for someone to tell us about the new raffle ticket system for the kayak. Maybe you could tell us what the kayak is he's talking about, what this new ticket system is, how this is working in conjunction with the Championship Series tournament. And I'm going to step away for 30 seconds. I've got
I'm
for
signing.
anybody wondering, I have run across this new Crown Royal. It's aged 18 years. It's called Extra Rare, and it is quite possibly the smoothest whiskey I've ever drank in my life. It's fantastic. So if you can come across Extra Rare, it's like $120 a bottle. I didn't know it at the time because it was not labeled with a price. So I'm going to fix.
When you got to the cashier, right? You didn't.
I had a bunch of items with groceries and stuff, and then when I walked out, I was like, "How much was that?" And I was like,
$600.
"What's that?"
$600, right? That would
No, it was 120 for a small bottle.
Your whole bill, your whole liquor bill.
Oh my! No, that was at Total Wine, and that was $700. But that was, in all fairness, that was gifts too, not just my Christmas wine. That was gifts too. So, but I tell you what a good deal! I got $10 reward points from Total Wine for spending $700.
Sounds like a deal.
So Jonathan, tell us about the raffle. Tell us about the new kayak. What's going on with that? I'm going to fix a drink. I'll be right back, guys.
Night, fellas.
Later, Jack. All right. Yeah, so good question, Tyler. So in the past for the Championship Series, we have gotten a lot of great support from Pack and Paddle and Native. They have always provided a Native Slayer kayak, which in the past, we typically have given along with a pretty large cash prize away at the championship. We recognize that there's a lot of anglers that fish the Championship Series tournaments that, either may or may not qualify for the championship for a lot of different reasons. So we wanted to give everybody a chance for that kayak, and at the same time also still provide some great prizes for the championship. So for the championship, we'll talk about the kayak and how we're going to settle that here in just a second. But for the championship, we'll be providing cash prizes based on the attendance of the rest of the regular series championship tournaments, and then the championship itself, of course. But what's going to be really fun for this year is for all the series tournaments, when you register, you will be given one raffle ticket. And additionally, for each tournament you fish, and this is also including the championship, so for a grand total of 5 tournaments in total, if you qualify for the championship, you can also purchase a extra raffle ticket per tournament. So you could potentially have 10 total tickets for the raffle for this tournament, for the kayak. So at the end of the year, at the championship, we will raffle off the kayak. So you'll have, everybody's tickets will be put into a computer system that we have that we'll be tracking throughout the year. We'll spin the wheel, and whoever gets their name drawn for that kayak is going to win the kayak. You may not even qualify for the championship. You could fish one Championship Series tournament. You could fish Minimalist a month from now and win, basically a $3,000 kayak just for your entry fee and potentially another, spare ticket if you wanted to do it. Me and myself, I'm going to buy every spare ticket I can. I love raffles. There's a lot of us that love raffles. There's going to be a lot of tickets in the pot for that. And then also the funds that are generated from that will be put back into the championship. So I think we're going to have a really awesome prize pot of cash prizes for the championship that I think a lot of people will be really excited for to qualify for the championship. And we had the most people we've ever had qualify for the championship last year, which is great. We love to see new people qualify, which we had a lot of that last year. So we hope and expect that to be the same this year. As more and more people come into kayak fishing, these tournaments, they're definitely tough, and there's, some really good anglers that fish these on a regular basis, but it's honestly open to anybody. You know, it's not out of the realm for somebody to come in who's new to kayak fishing and do really well. I think Dean, who was on the podcast earlier, I mean, I think he came in one of the first tournaments he fished. He won Minimalist a few years ago. Yeah, it's definitely possible. So I would encourage everybody to sign up early and often for the tournaments, fish the tournaments, come hang out, especially after the tournaments. We do the weigh-in, even if you know, some of these tournaments we may have CPR for them. That doesn't mean, you know, we're not going to get together, hang out, and have a good time after. So I would say, you know, definitely make plans to, you know, spend some time after the tournaments, hanging out, talking. You know, that's honestly, in my opinion, you know, a big part of the reason why I joined the club and, you know, still fish and at this point, you know, on the board with the club is I love to hang out and just spend time with everybody and talk about fishing, talk about the outdoors, and, you know, use that time to unwind and, you know, get out of the daily grinds. And I hope to meet a lot of new people this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit of swamp country here in a minute. Just to recap, though, real quick, what Bayou Coast Kayak Club has going on this year. Obviously, there's the Minimalist Challenge tournament in January. That's going to be everyone's provided the same set of baits. Typically speaking, it's usually one hard bait or one special bait and some soft plastics and hooks. That's all they can use. That's going to be out of St. Bernard Parish this year with 4 launches being Hopedale, Campos and Shell Beach, Sweetwater and Delacroix, and Pips Marina. So you'll be able to launch out of those 4 launches. Normally it's in Leeville. It's a shotgun launch. We've had to change it this year. And really because of those particular areas, we've had to split it up into 4 different spots. Hopefully, again, though, next year we'll either be back in Leeville or Golden Meadow areas, which would be great. So after that, there's the Paddlepalooza tournament in March. That's going to be the Highway 23 over at Delta Marina. In April is going to be Redfish Rumble, and that's going to be located at a Point of Shin Marina, Pack Kayak Rentals. So we're really looking forward to getting back down there, supporting Pack. They're recovering again from another hurricane, but they're back up and running. Lisa and Eddie are doing good. They've got everything going. So we're going to be over there supporting them in April. So that should be a really good time. And this is one, a couple of the officers and I were talking. We always like to do one different tournament every year. You've got your redfish, you've got your trout, you've got your minimalist. This one is going to be very interesting. It's going to be a statewide CPR slam tournament. I think we're calling it from dawn to dusk, meaning that the time will be set basically from sunrise till sunset. You can fish all day, anywhere you want. It's going to be the longest combined length, meaning you do not have to catch a slam to win it. But if you catch a bigger redfish, and we'll probably go, because it's a CPR, we'll probably go above the 27-inch limit, maybe up to 29.75 or 30 inches, which is the length of the board. Big trout, flounder, have all 3 on there. You can start your day in Big Lake and end up down in Bassons if you want, or you can fish Lake Pontchartrain. You can come home after the morning bite, take a nap, eat lunch, and then go back out and go for your trout that afternoon. It's going to be a wild day. I am really looking forward to that one. It's different. So we were talking, a couple of guys were giving some input, and I said, man, this is a great idea. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be coming up in May. It's Memorial Day weekend.
And opening Star tournament too.
That's right. It's the opening of the Star tournament. So if you can double dip, you can go out there, try to catch that big trout, that tagged redfish for Star, and really spend a weekend out there. Make that plan. You've already got that holiday weekend out there. A lot of people like to go fish Grand Isle. Hopefully they'll be open by then. Bridgeside maybe. So there could be some good places out there. You can go out to Lake Charles. So a lot of different things. Then we've got in October, we'll have Paddlepalooza. Right now, I think the thought process is to have it back down Highway 1 at Bridgeside. It'll just be depending on the recovery over there. So that one's still up in the air. Then after that, we've got the Trout Challenge tournament. And Jonathan, where do we put that one?
We'll have.
I'm trying to remember. I think that one's going to be down LA1 too, right? Before Fallen Tide, I think.
Yeah, it'll be based on how LA1's looking, but probably we'll have Trout Challenge early October as kind of a pretty to falling tide, maybe later October, as we work those days out with Bridgeside. So that'll be
give everybody a chance to get up there and maybe get back to fishing down Highway 1 and seeing what it's like, and hopefully it'll be a good time, a good pre-fisher for falling tide. And then obviously the championship will be in November, and I don't think we've announced the location for that yet. We're kind of keeping an eye on that, and we'll see where we end up with that one. So that'll be good. Of course, as you know, it all depends if I qualify or not, depending on the location. So
we'll see about that.
We'll see about that. So that is the lineup for Bayou Coast this year. It's another great year. A lot of sponsors, a lot of good things happening. Swamp Country Kayak Fishing Club, as you guys know, that is the official Bassmaster chapter in Louisiana for kayak fishing. It's a bass CPR tournament only. Last year was the first year. There were 2 tournaments, one over at Indian Creek. I think there was 25 people or something. It was tough fishing, but it was basically a good starter tournament to get everybody's feet wet. And the championship was down at Lake St. John, Lake Concordia. I think the 32 people signed up for that. Jonathan, you had the fortune of coming in second. We had Dustin Talbot take first place. Jonathan Carter here finished in second, and Francis Train in third. Those 3 guys qualified, and I know you're looking forward to this. They qualified for the Bassmaster National Championship coming up in March. Tell us, where is that championship at? I know it's over somewhere in South Carolina or something like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's at Lake Russell, which this tournament is held in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic. Basically the biggest, oldest grand prize bass fishing tournament of all time. So we'll fish the kayak championship. I think it's Wednesday and might be Thursday and Friday are the days that we fish. And the top qualifiers for that get to walk across the stage for the Bassmaster Classic before the boaters, get to do their thing. But it's going to be over in South Carolina. And it's going to be at the very end of February/March. So me, Francis, and Dustin are talking, going to get a spot over there. They haven't released the pre-fishing rules yet, but we'll probably pre-fish for a couple days leading up to that. The prizes are really big cash prizes. I think first place last year was like 25 grand or something like that. I'm not sure what they have in store for this year, but it's a great opportunity. It's something that I've always dreamed about going to do. I've never done, never been to a Bassmaster Classic, so that'll be fun to go and check that out.
You got a pretty busy spring coming up.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. So that is that's what happened last year. The tournament itself, we were out there at Lake St. John, Lake Concordia, beautiful lakes, a lot of cypress trees. It was crazy because when we were out there, it was actually alligator season. So they've got the hunting season. So they've got the lines coming down from the trees, and people coming over there and pulling up the gators and shooting them while we're bass fishing next to them. So it was, it was very interesting being out there. A phenomenal restaurant, though. I forget the name of the restaurant we were at right there.
The Duck Nest or the Duck Landing or something?
Yeah, the Duck Roost. I don't know. It's the only one right there on Lake St. John, and the food was great. You'd be really surprised, but really good time this year. This year we've got something a little different. We've expanded the tournaments. So we are actually having the first tournament of the year is going to be in February. It's actually on the ticker here, February 12th, 2022. We're calling it the Toledo Bender. It's going to be fished in conjunction with the Hobie tournament. Hobie Bass Open Series is coming to Louisiana this year. We've been waiting for this for the last few years. We're all super excited about it. The Hobie Bass Open, if you don't know, it's a CPR tournament in conjunction with Hobie. Cash prizes are amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's an expensive entry. It's about $250, $260. But it's a 2-day tournament. It's here in Louisiana on Toledo Bend. I think they pay out the top. Is it the top 10% they pay out?
Yeah, I think it's usually top 10%.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect there's going to be at least 150 people fishing, if not, significantly more than that.
Yeah, and so you've got a lot of these guys coming in from Texas, and I'm talking first place for these tournaments are five, six, seven, $8,000. So really good prizes. AJ McWhirter, who runs it, does a phenomenal job running those tournaments. They run really smoothly. Also, Bayou Coast will be out there cooking at least one of the nights for everybody in the tournament. And as I hear, I think there's a Texas club also coming in. They may be cooking one night as well. It's a good time of the year if you're looking. You can camp out there. There's cabins. I understand, although there are no disco barges out there, there is some really nice houses. I think we've got one rented. Jonathan took care of that. And so if you're interested in fishing, you haven't, reach out to one of us. We can give you some tips. We can kind of give you the lowdown of what it is. I suspect we're going to have a lot of people from Louisiana and from Bayou Coast and from Swamp Country out there fishing these tournaments. It's a lot of fun. So the Swamp Country tournament will only be on that Saturday, though. It's going to be a one-day tournament. The Hobie tournament's a two-day. We realize that a lot of people can't stay both days. They have to get back. And the entry fee for Swamp Country would be $50. Obviously, you have to be a Bass member and a Bass Nation member, and you can check the webpage for all that stuff. But you only pay those fees once, and it qualifies you to fish the rest of the tournaments. The second tournament of the year we're going to be doing is going to be right here in New Orleans / St. Bernard Parish, and that's going to be the Bayou Boogaloo down in Bayou Bienvenue, and I think that's going to be in April. It's going to be an interesting format, what we're looking at right now, and it's going to be as many bass as you can catch, a CPR, total combined length. You will not believe it, but there are some big bass over there. I'm talking 5+ pound bass in Bayou Bienvenue. And when the time's right, there are a lot of bass over there. So that should be a really fun tournament. Again, it's open to the public, just as long as you're a Bass member and a Bass Nation member that you have to pay for separately. Then I think in September, we're doing a Lake Martin tournament over in Lafayette. For you guys that don't know Lake Martin, I haven't fished it yet, but it can be a phenomenal lake. Supposed to be really pretty. Jonathan, you've had the opportunity to fish out there. Can you tell us a little bit about Lake Martin?
It's beautiful, honestly. I've only fished the lake one time. I fished a tournament with the Lafayette Kayak Fishing Club last year I think it was around that same time of year, August, September timeframe. Just beautiful lake, full of cypress trees, typical shallow lake like that. There's apparently some grass in some little areas. I never found it, but it was fun fishing. Caught a lot of small fish, and I did catch some nice fish later in the day. Yeah, there are a lot of alligators there too. Definitely a lot of alligators. But I mean, it was a great time. From what I've seen online as well, the parish is putting in a significant amount of money to redo the lake. There's been a lot of access concerns and problems with that lake. A lot of litigation going on around that lake over the past couple of years, but it sounds like a lot of that has been settled, at least for the short term. So there's some money going in to fix those launches up. Not that was ever really a major concern for the kayakers, but it should be better for everybody over there, I think. So really looking forward to that. It's a beautiful, beautiful area, and it'll be good to fish that time of year.
Yeah, and then at the end of the year will be the championship. There's nothing you have to do to qualify. It's open to anybody from any state to come down. Last year again was the first one we've had with 30-something people enter. I forget what the payouts were. Did you remember? I think the payouts were pretty good, as I recall.
I want to say I think Dustin won. We did it hourly big bass this previous year, so the payouts were a little bit different. But I think Dustin walked away with $1,200, $1,300, something like that.
Yeah, for $100 entry fee, and I mean, really, it may have even been a little bit more than that. I have to go back and check, but we paid out the top 3 places, and you finished second. Do you remember what you ended up getting out of that?
I want to say it was like $800, I think.
Yeah. So it was a good payout. But really, it's a lot of fun. This year, we anticipate it's going to be bigger. Last year, Haida had just hit, and so it really screwed everything up. We're having it at Caney Creek, which is up in North Louisiana. I haven't fished it before. I know, Jonathan, you I don't know if you fished it or not yet, but I know you know a lot about that area.
I haven't personally fished that lake yet, but yeah, I see somebody's post and they said Candy holds 16 of the top 20 state record bass. We're gonna hold the championship early December. Hopefully it doesn't get too cold just for angler comfort, but either way, somebody's gonna catch them no matter what. I think there's gonna be a lot more people that fish the tournament this year compared to the championship the previous year. And, a lot of the boat tournaments that go on there that time of year, it's not uncommon to take, 25, 30 pounds to win, those tournaments. And for lengthwise for us, kayak wise, I mean, that's, 100, 110, 115 inch bag. I mean, that's,
That's a big bag.
it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to catch, 5-pound fish there to win the tournament for sure.
I'm really looking forward. It looks like a beautiful lake. They've got a beautiful state park around there. I know we're going to get some cabins. Last year, we just had a great time. Eric Stacy came down. He cooked his famous pastelaya. We had some beautiful trophies made and some plaques. It was a really good time. And the great thing about this one, and you're seeing a lot more of this, is the Bass Nation Series allows you to use the Torqeedos, the Newport motors, all the little motors on the kayak, which if you don't have one, and I know there's some purists out there, but wow, it's incredible, especially when you start getting a little bit older and the joints are aching and creaking, and you wouldn't know about that yet, Jonathan, but when you get a little bit older into your 40s, things start hurting a little bit, and it's nice to zoom around on those things. It really makes a difference, especially with pre-fishing, because you can really move around and not put as much wear and tear on your bodies, especially when you want to do this for a long time. So really looking forward to that. Obviously, we don't want to forget about the other clubs out there. For people who are looking, if Bayou Coast or Swamp Country doesn't have a tournament and you want to do some saltwater fishing, look at, I think PAC has actually got the Polar Challenge coming up the weekend before Minimalist. You can take a look at that. Lafayette Kayak Fishing Club, it's another great fishing club. They put on a lot of tournaments. Take a look at their page. You can also look at BAM Bassin. If you love bass fishing and you want to get into it, BAM has a tournament almost every month. They've got month-longs going on. So they've got some really good tournaments over there. Got to meet some of their members recently. Had a really good time meeting them. They fished the championship. So there's a lot of different things going on. The summertime can get slow, I know, and we'll talk about that. One thing that Mitch with Delta did ask me to bring up is that in August, every August they have the Empire Tarpon Rodeo, I think. Is it the Tarpon Rodeo, the Venice? Anyway, it's a big fishing tournament down there in Empire. They have a kayak division. He says, Sean, when you get kayakers out here, we have awards, we have plaques, and we don't have enough kayakers out here. I said, look, Mitch, don't worry about that. We will come. If you post it and give awards, they'll show up. We're going to make sure we get some people out there. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we come up. Jonathan and I were talking about something. He's not quite ready to share it yet, but it's going to be for paid members only. And we're looking at doing it sometime towards the summer. It's going to be a really good time. Paid members only. Really encourage everyone to to sign up. If you want to sign up for Minimalist right now, there's only 135 spots available. Last I checked, I think, Jonathan, we're over 50 now. Is that correct? For Minimalist?
Yeah, I think we're like mid upper 50s, something like that.
Yeah, mid to upper 50s for that. Obviously, once Christmas is over and we get closer to January, it's really going to start filling up. We sell it at 135. After we've given a period of time for paid members to sign up, we open it up to the public. But if you want to fish the Angler of the Year series, if you want to fish the championship series, if you, those raffle tickets, if you're not a paid member, you are not eligible to win that raffle. So you will not get a ticket unless you're a paid member, even if you enter the tournament. Those are for paid members only. It's one of the benefits. Jonathan, there's something else that you were working on this year for club members. Maybe you could tell us about it. There used to be a discount for members at various sponsors. What's going on with that this year?
Yeah, so in one of the goals that we have is to provide more value not only to the club members directly, but also to the sponsors that give us everything that we raffle off to help the club run on a year-to-year basis. And with that, we want to provide more direct value to the bottom line for our members. And with that, in the past, we made this transition from the old forum where it was becoming less and less active to social media pages / the new website that I'm sure most everybody has seen at this point. One of the things we have working on in the background, and this is something that Josh and Austin have done a killer job on. I can't, stress enough how hard those guys work to get in contact with all the great sponsors, both locally and, nationally and internationally, to get us everything we can for the club and its members, but getting discount codes for all of our members. So basically, when you log in, there's a section there for all the member discounts for sponsors we have for percentages off, dollars direct off on orders from different sponsors. And we're going to populate that as much as we can, throughout the year. So as we get more and more great companies that we partner with added to that list, they'll be put on there. We'll give them a shout out on the page, and everybody, who's a paid member of the club who has access to that will be able to go in and use those codes at any time to get, tackle, life jackets. There's all sorts of stuff on there, and it's only going to add more and more to the list throughout the year.
Yeah, and for people, if you want to know which sponsors are honoring or offering discounts, is that available on the Bayou Coast webpage?
Yep. Yeah. When you log in on the Bayou Coast website, you will go to the member section and you'll see where those codes are at. Yeah, Josh just posted on there. He said it's important that we use those discount codes too. So I mean, if you're gonna be purchasing goods from them, you might as well use the code. It shows that we're supporting the sponsors that give us those codes, and then additionally, obviously you get money off on those orders too. And that
Absolutely.
helps the sponsors support the club more and more.
And I always like to make it a point whenever I go to a sponsor, let them know that, hey, I'm with the club, and I come over here and purchase product from them, maybe rather than offline, or online, not offline, but online, simply because I want to support the local businesses and the people that support us, and we support them. So, oh man, it's been almost an hour and a half. It's been great though. I don't know if you guys can see this, my Christmas tree in the background. My wife did a beautiful job decorating it. I was only responsible for lugging it into the house. So let's see. So we've got Minimalist coming up. Christmas is right here. I'm going to give a confession. I just got my first bait caster. It's pretty cool. I do not like bait casters. I think they're awkward. It's like playing golf. It's never comfortable. But I got a really nice one, and I've been using it, and it's you can cast a lot faster. It's a nice retrieve. It's still awkward, but it's a Daiwa. What kind did I get, Jonathan? I don't even know. It's the special edition Daiwa. You get the same one, but I got the left-handed. You got the right-handed.
The Daiwa Tatula Special Edition.
Oh, is that what I got? The Daiwa Tatula Special Edition.
Yeah, I got one from B&B Tackle, also one of our local sponsors. Great place to check out on the way down to Paddlepalooza. The reels are awesome. Yeah, Sean may have a chance actually to place in some of the Swamp Country bass tournaments this year. I don't know. We'll see.
I am convinced that the only reason you beat me was because you had a Torpedo on and I didn't. And also bait casters. So no, but it's a great reel. Very little backlashing on it. Yeah, it's true, Tyler. This is a true story. It is my second bait caster. I won one, and as typical, we were drinking at Fallen Tide, and I didn't like it, so I just gave it to Tyler. But I went out with Breck Hotard, and he made me fish with it most of the time, and cursed at me when I didn't. And I caught my first bass. I caught my first redfish on it this past weekend. And so for you guys that don't know, Jonathan Filliman. So we were in the Minimalist Challenge Zone. We went out Saturday, me, you, and Breck, Team Torpedo. Maybe fill everybody in. They can give them a little, what happened, what it looked like, what do we do?
Man, what an exciting day. We thought the trout fishing was going to be on fire. Apparently all the trout are over in Golden Meadow and Leeville, as Jack said earlier, because we caught, I think, the grand total of like 6 or 7 trout between the bunch of us. So they were definitely spread out. But anything's possible when you're that close to the MRGO. The trout are there. They're just, they might just be spread out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
A ton of bass for sure. It may be a little more difficult to find some better quality bass, but they're definitely out there. We had, the Redfish and Bass tournament in the spring last year, and there were quite a few surprisingly really nice bass that were brought in from a couple of the different launches that are accessible for a minimalist. Sheephead, surprisingly, if anybody wants to know how to catch sheephead on artificial, you should talk to Breck Otard. Also talk to him about treble hook removal. He seems to be pretty good at that. I helped him get a treble hook out of the fish, and then I watched him get the treble hook out of his hand, and you could tell he's done it a time or two.
He's done it a time or two. Unlike me, who likes to use fish grips on fish and pliers to remove treble hooks, Breck likes to use his thumb to remove treble hooks. And he basically, what he does, he takes his thumb, he sticks it in the treble hook, then he just jerks it up the fish's mouth.
Nets and fish grips are allowed during Minimalist, and I highly recommend you use both.
Yes. We're not saying that any of the baits will have treble hooks, but if they do,
I did get to pick out the baits for Minimalist this year, so I think everybody will be pleasantly excited when they get the baits. We'll see.
What can you tell us? Can you tell us anything about the baits this year without giving them away? What can you tell us?
I'll say it's going to be a mix between Captain Lane and pure fishing baits.
Okay.
Gonna have hooks, gonna have some soft plastics, maybe a hard bait. Maybe there will be a treble hook or two in there. I don't know. We'll see.
Any corks? I know it's wildly popular. Corks?
No
corks. No corks.
I despise corks. No corks.
Well, do any of the baits float? Can they float and we could substitute them as a cork? Do you know, or can we say that? Is that possible?
I think technically one of the baits does float. Yeah, I think it does.
Really?
I think it does. I think one of the baits does. I don't know if you could use it as a cork though, but I'm sure there will be people out there.
People will try.
A couple people that'll try to use it as a cork. I'm sure.
People will try. Yeah. Do we have any?
That's what Minimalist is about, though. Get out of your comfort zone. Try something new, and you might be surprised.
I mean, so with these are really different fish. I mean, you've got trout, you've got redfish, sheepshead, flounder, bass. I mean, it's wild. This is a big, different mix of fish that we're going after, and in January they're all going to be there. Do you think there are certain baits maybe more targeted to fish than other baits?
I think the biggest thing, and I always keep this in the back of my mind for Minimalist every year, is you better be really careful if you're fishing around reefs and rocks, because they will swallow your baits up really, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quickest thing that'll take you out of the race.
And look, just for people that are thinking, how are you going to catch sheepshead and artificial without a cork and without some snake? Breck caught 2 sheepshead on a freaking crankbait. I mean, a crankbait. Do you know how the size of a crankbait and the size of those sheepsheads? That's difficult. If he can catch them on a crankbait, we could probably catch them on whatever wonderful baits Jonathan picked out for us this year.
The biggest sheephead I've ever caught was in Louisiana, and it was on a chatterbait.
I'm calling bullshit. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on the chatterbait sheepshead. I don't believe that for a second.
I promise. If Chaz Champagne hadn't caught, I think he won it that year with like a 9.5 pound or 10-pound sheephead. I caught it in Joshua's on a chatterbait, and it was
On
8.5 pounds.
8.5 pound sheephead on a chatterbait.
On a chatterbait.
I mean,
sheephead are weird fish. You never know.
I'm calling Bayhand here. You know, I mean, this is like the freaking unicorn of fishes. I mean, the 12-pound slot. I mean,
I got a special net I just picked up from Brock earlier today that will keep me from getting Bayhand this year. Extra long leverage net.
Now, I will say this, and Tyler brought this up. Last year, that Berkeley hit stick hard bait when we were fishing out of Golden Meadow, holy crap. He was tearing up the fish at Minimalist last year. You trolling that thing, the trout were hitting it, the freaking the sheep's head were hitting it. Now, the difference with that bait, it was a very small hook, so they could actually get it. But I was surprised that those sheep's head were really tearing it up. It was a good bait. That was a really good bait that Berkeley that we got last year. Actually, I think Ian had picked that one out.
We might have some more small treble hooks this year. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I see Ben's kind of anxiously waiting. It looks like he's got something to say. Let's bring Benjamin Day back on real quick. Since it's Christmas, we got nothing else to do. I'm off tomorrow. You're off tomorrow. Ben's off every day. But let's go see what Ben's got going on. Ben, you're on mute. Unmute your mic.
I'm back.
What's going on, Mr. Day?
Man, I didn't know y'all were going to invite me back. I was just chilling.
Oh, should we not invite you back? Should we take you off?
Good. You good?
Okay.
So, I need to go fishing. I haven't fished since the championship.
Hey,
I know you've been out there feeding those deer.
Don't be surprised at Minimalist if somebody comes in with a hammer sheephead kicker.
We're gonna bring Austin back on the stream too because we can. We got four guys on here. We got us all officers now. We're sitting here.
Every time I catch a sheep's head, it's on mistake. I haven't done it on purpose yet.
Yeah,
no. It might pay off next year.
Yeah, it might. I'm gonna try to make a trip to Hopedale. I'm thinking, I don't know. It'd be cool if I could do it before Christmas, but it'd be definitely doable before New Year's, I think.
Yeah, I tell you what, with this we've had this is probably the coldest we've had this year. Just this past couple of days, I think this is probably the coldest weather we've had this year. As soon as it warms back up, man, I want to get out to Leeville or to Golden Meadow or down in Empire because those trout are going to be. I think there's an opportunity to catch some really big trout this coming week as soon as it warms up a little bit.
It's freezing up here right now. If I wasn't up here, I would be fishing on Thursday and Friday for sure because once that water warms up just a little bit after that cold front, there's going to be some big fish caught later this week. I guarantee
That's what
I
was thinking. Depending on what I got to do this week, that'd be a good time to go. The deer hunting, I'm trying. I'm not giving up, but it's been tough.
Wasn't this the time? Isn't right now? It's cold. Isn't the deer supposed to be moving right now?
I saw 6 this morning.
They're definitely moving for sure, but I had a lot. I hunt a small. I only hunt like 50 acres, so it's not a lot. So I mean, I can only take what I can get. They were moving a lot in October, and then once rifle season started, they just shut down, and it's been hot. And I've been putting corn out and everything, and I got the camera, but mostly it's just like raccoons and bobcats.
I've got some good friends of mine that hunt. They've got all these deer. They never invite me over to go shoot the deer with them. I got
a lot of baby deer.
I got a lot of deer meat for you.
I tell you what,
get you hooked up.
Brandon Barton posted some pictures today. I don't know if you guys saw. He had turkeys everywhere.
That was crazy
on his trail cam. Yeah. I was thinking about maybe
turkeys they're smart, man. I mean, Lauren saw a couple on the road, like a month ago in Folsom, and we were driving to the grocery store. She said, "Look, there's some turkeys." I'm like, "No, those are totally like buzzards, like eating some dead carcass." And sure enough, on the way home, I'm like, yeah, those are definitely turkeys. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're like trained turkeys or just they're on the move, but yeah, they're smart. You don't see them all the time. At least I don't around here.
Okay, you're the first person I've ever heard call a turkey smart.
You don't think turkeys are smart?
They're, I think, the stupidest animal in the world, is what I recall.
Look how
But-
big their heads are. Their brains have to be huge.
Their heads are What are you looking at, Ben? I mean, they're very small heads.
No, they do have really
got some
sharp
special
eyes.
big
I think they
head
can
turkeys
see
over
really
there.
good.
Wait, Austin's disagreeing with. Let's bring Austin on to Austin. You've heard these comments. What are your thoughts on Ben's comments about turkeys being like, the smartest of the animals, of the birds?
Austin's a raccoon expert.
I think Ben has been up too long and needs to go to rest because I think right.
Eddie too. Eddie, what the hell kind of turkeys are you looking at, Ben? These aren't llamas, these are turkeys. All right. And their heads are very small as compared to the rest of their body.
I've always heard turkeys are smart. That's why everybody's like in ghillie suits shooting them because they can see really good.
They're mean. I know that. Turkeys are like one of the meanest birds I've ever met.
What?
Yeah,
more
they're
than
mean.
like an ostrich or emu?
Oh yeah. Turkeys are like they're crotchety. They're like the old men of the bird family.
Well, they have
the
a
old
reason.
crotchety.
We like committed genocide.
I think you're thinking of emus.
Francis. All right, Francis. We're all sitting here drinking. All right. You just, you don't want to join us. That's fine. One thing I did want to mention though, because we kind of skipped over a little bit, Jonathan. You won Angler of the Year, and we had the championship there. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Wade Barbay, who won the championship this year. Wade is this was his first year in the club. Obviously, a great fisherman. First year in the club full time. He comes to the championship. He wins it. Fishing was tough, and this guy. How many flounder did he bring to the weigh-in?
Three.
He was sitting there.
He caught 3
He was telling them
killed
he saw it in front of everyone.
Yeah,
insanity.
it was insanity. It was. He was sitting there, and we're all sitting there looking at him like, hey, you really didn't need to weigh the figure out which flounder was the heaviest. We know you won.
Then
half a pound is.
Had one of the biggest caught redfish I've ever seen.
Who was that?
Huge. That redfish.
Oh yeah, that thing was a tank.
Wait, how much did it weigh? It was like over 8 pounds, or was it
7?
Yeah, it was a huge redfish.
I think it was 8.5.
I swear, when they pulled it out, I said, "There's
big.
no way that thing's making it." It was so fat, though, it was so big around. It just looked so much bigger than the length because it was so fat.
It was
so.
huge. It was.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. It's been a little while. So Wade finished first. Who was second? That was Darren. Was that Darren?
Matt Dearman, I think.
No, it wasn't Matt Dearman. He was at Fallen Tide.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was a long
I
long
think
time
you're
ago.
right, Sean.
It was Darren. Anyway, so Wade won, and he won. I think $2,000 cash. He won the native kayak. We had big trout, big redfish.
First year Bayou Coast member.
First year Bayou Coast. I mean, it was. He had a really impressive stringer. It was 2 reds, 5 trout, and a flounder, and he weighed in all of his 5 fish. And so that was it was really hell of a job. Really good guy. Really nice guy. We got to hang around all weekend. And I want to thank, Ben had brought some food, was really good.
That sausage is awesome.
Yeah. We had cooked.
I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that picture, but
yeah,
Yes, I
I
can.
can
That's
see it.
that's a sheephead on a chatterbait. That was sent to me by somebody else. Just to let y'all know it is
Hey,
possible.
me and Ben, I actually have a funny story. This was the last fishing trip I've ever made in a paddle kayak was to Joshua's, and I let Ben convince me to cross all the way to the island, and I ended up catching my head on an underspin, and then crossing back, they had to tow me all the way back, and the next day I went and get a.
That was so brutal. He needed a bilge pump. He was sitting. It was cold. It was in December, and he was in like the the $200 Pelican, like the 10-footer, and it was white capping out
Filling up
at
with
Joshua's.
water, and I was
Hey
just
y'all, I gotta run.
Let me show this one picture. This is from this weekend. Can y'all see it?
yeah.
That's the fish from this weekend. There's some
Oh,
trout,
yeah,
some
yeah.
redfish, some flounders. For some reason, I look like Terry Pham in that picture. I don't know why I look like Terry, but anyway. Well, I'm assuming Jonathan was called away. I can't comment as to why, but I have a feeling I know why.
You holding on strong though.
We still got 17 viewers. These 17 people been sitting here watching us for an hour and 40 minutes. Is pretty crazy.
Yes, 17 people.
Hey,
17 people with nothing else to do on a Tuesday night before Christmas. So, Ben, what's the tournament you're most looking forward to this year?
Oh man, there's so many. I'm really interested in how the Memorial Day statewide CPR is going to go.
Mhm.
I know, a lot of people had different feelings on it, but it's like the new tournament of the year. So you just never know if it's going to be really popular or like, if it's going to be like Midnight Madness.
Hey, we had a good turnout for that. It just sucked.
Oh man, that was terrible. I was like, people were coming home from the bars, and I was leaving my house. It was insanity.
To go fishing, yeah.
Yeah, to go fishing. No, it
What
was
about you?
fun. I'm glad
Yeah.
I did it. I will always have that experience, and I can tell
I know. That's what you
that I
want.
did that.
You want the memories. You remember the good ones, but you always remember the bad ones, the really bad ones.
It's so true. Like the
Yeah.
Paddlepalooza with the
Double J duel this last year was pretty horrible for me.
Yeah. That was another good one. Yeah. What about you, Austin? What tournament you look most forward to this year?
So Minimalist for one, just because I like the concept of it.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people have their comfort zone, and when you pull someone out of that, then it's anyone's game.
Mhm.
But I really am excited for the statewide tournament. I've talked to a few people and had mixed opinions about it, but I really believe that it's going to be a fantastic day.
Oh yeah, I'm planning on taking the weekend off and barbecuing, and I'm serious. I may go out and fish that morning and come back in, and then go back out again in the afternoon.
Jack
Have some
Hickman
lunch, take a
special.
nap. Oh yeah, the Jack Hickman special for sure. Who knows?
Have some lunch and nap, and then go back out.
I may be in Big Lake Saturday morning with my trout and my flounder, and then just driving on down to Bassons for my redfish. In the afternoon. I mean, you never know. I mean,
I still have no idea what I'm gonna. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting tournament for sure. Yeah, like I said, it's something different. You don't want the same thing over and over.
No, you got to mix it up.
You got to mix it up.
You keep learning. I think that's what drives the whole, the kayaking thing. If you're not learning, it just gets stale.
Look, man, I tell you what, like Pontchartrain, you never know. In May, you could go over there, catch a big trout and a flounder, and then move on over to Delacroix for your redfish. I mean, it literally puts the whole state on on notice as far as, I mean, it's a great time of year to go fish Grand Isle. It all depends on what you want to do. And because it's all day and Louisiana's kind of smallish, you can start one place and finish up in the other place, because you're literally going to have from probably that morning, you figure if we'd start at 6 and in May, sun goes down around 8, you could have a 14-hour fishing day, if you want to. You don't have to fish for 14 hours, but 14 hours. And look, some people may work in the morning and be able to fish in the afternoon, or vice versa, or some people have to fish the whole day. So it's going to be an interesting time.
Grand Isle could be insane though. I can imagine. I know they're gonna be ready to roll in May, and everybody's gonna be wanting to go back.
Oh yeah, especially if it's. I mean, if Grand Isle's open, I may just go down there for the weekend and bring the family and go have fun.
I was talking
places are open like March, April.
My aunt is actually married to Ricky of Ricky's Motel, and we were talking over the Thanksgiving holidays, and they're optimistic that the island should be able to start slowly opening up around late February or early March, from what they're thinking, because they still have their RV park. They just don't have the motel.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. A good time to get back down there in May and everything. But I mean, look, we don't put a whole lot of tournaments in Lake Charles because most of the members are in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, St. Bernard, and all that area. And that's a good distance. But for those guys that want to fish it, this is a great opportunity to go down there. If you've never fished Big Lake in that area, the flounder are thick.
I've never been.
You will catch probably more flounder than red. It's easier to catch a flounder than it is a redfish over there.
That's what I want to do. I want to move my camper to Big Lake. I've never fished that area.
Yeah.
Well, move it that weekend, Ben. I'm coming to spend the night.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I see Tyler starting to make fun of us. Apparently we're dragging on again, and my dog is snoring in the background. So
mine is as well.
I guess they're trying to tell me something. Well, look, guys, it's almost 10 o'clock. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. This was a good Christmas special. I enjoyed seeing everybody. I think we're going to try to plan another one here after the new year, probably before Minimalist. Kind of give an update, see what's going on, and provide maybe talk some more fishing. I mean, I want to hear some of these great fishing stories. I think really with this warm up, the trout fishing is going to be off the chart good. I think there's an opportunity to catch a personal best trout this week, actually, So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to get out there. Ben, if you can ever execute that yard pass that Lauren, I know, keeps giving you. She mentioned earlier that, you can get out there and do a little fishing, maybe catch a nice trout.
When are you off this week?
I'm off Thursday. I'm off tomorrow. I'm off Thursday. I'm off Friday. I'm off Saturday.
Okay,
I might go fishing Thursday. I'm thinking about going down to Empire, actually.
All right. All right. We might have to get on that, maybe. I might have to see what I can do.
Yeah. Someone's saying Off the Water After Hours. We were talking about naming the show, actually renaming it Off the Water After Hours. It's not really for children, but they're always invited. All right, Eddie, thanks for joining us. We'll be seeing y'all soon. Hopefully everybody get out there, get fishing. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. Benjamin, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I'm sure I'll be talking
Merry
to you
Christmas.
later tonight or at 4 o'clock in the morning, whenever you get up.
Yeah, 4 o'clock every day.
4 o'clock every day, just like clockwork. So you guys have a great Christmas. Please post on the sites. Let us know what you get, what kind of fishing things y'all got. You got them from sponsors. Make sure you tag those sponsors on there. Let them know that we're thinking about them and that we really appreciate all their support. We will get this thing fired up again here after New Year's. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Ben. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for showing up, guys.
Later.